you had withdrawn the bill.
Yeah.
Really? Tunaona ni kama kwamba already some things are being implemented from that bill.
Yeah.
Cabinet you reconstituted, but half ni ya wale walikuwa wameambiwa kwa heri.
Wamerudishwa. They are everywhere saying thank you, Mr. President.
Imagine to rub it in even.
For choosing me once again, for saving my life. Anyway, I see a date to tomorrow's planned anti-government protest. President William Ruto issued strongest warning yet, vowing to crush what he termed as tyranny of anonymous, faceless, formless, sponsored people out to plunge Kenya into anarchy. And this is a story on page 4. We'll be looking at that in more detail. And also, still on the top page, I see turmoil in Raila Campus allies eye cabinet jobs. Top ODM leaders are divided on whether or not to join a broad-based government promised by President William Ruto. After he dismissed his cabinet, it is now emerged that some leaders are concerned about Mr. Odinga's delay in presenting his list to Dr. Ruto, which some party stalwarts said to be ready to accept ministerial offers even without Raila's blessings. This is a story on page 5, and I see some of the names listed here. Hassan Joho, ODM Deputy Party Leader, Wycliffe Oparanya, Deputy Party Leader, and also Opio Wandayi, who is the Minority Leader. Interesting, very, very interesting. And I see here still on the top page, abduction. Gaitho Mayodili in hands of police kidnap squad. Veteran journalists thought his kidnappers would use their guns on him or torture him into confessing to some heinous crime in the style of the Moi era special branch. This guy is tormented. He's traumatized, literally traumatized, because he's an older guy also. So this must have just been too heavy for him. And still on the top page, Kenyans linked to 14 billion shillings Israeli tender scam. I see here 98 billion shillings is the amount SBI International was fined in Israel for bribery relating to the award of a tender in Kenya. For 10 years, leading to 2018, officials from an Israeli contractor would jot down transaction details of kickbacks paid to Kenyan government officials to secure lucrative road contracts. That little black book could now open up Pandora's box in Kenya. This is a story on page 7. And page 2 is the story of Macharia Gaitho, who explains his ordeal in the hands of police kidnap squad. And you can look at that feature that is on pages 2 all the way to page 3. Page 4, I'll deal with you once and for all, Ruto tells protesters. And I think this, you know, as a leader, I'm thinking that one needs to be very careful.
Whatever you say.
With the words. Because this is only aggravating the people even more.
Worsening the situation.
It's worsening the situation.
Others are saying it's sort of like a license
to
the law enforcement agencies to use whatever means. Because the head of state has already spoken about the same. And so because they want to please him, they will do anything and everything. And already we have seen what they have, a section of the law enforcement agents have done. Those who even were in plainclothed, and the way they carried themselves, not in a very good way. So when you have now a leader coming out and speaking in this tone, it's very sad. And I see here him saying that I dropped the finance bill. I called them to come to the table and talk to me. They refused and asked me to go to X. I went there, but they ran away. I've called them for talks, but they have refused, saying they are faceless and formless. And now the president's warning now sets the stage for a major clash between security officers and protesters come tomorrow. And they're planning to actually do like 6 days. So it's gonna be supposed to be per se a continuous, protest that will be going on this coming week. I think people just need to be really careful. And I say I've given a chance to everybody to say whatever they wanted to say. It cannot continue like this. The country is much more important than any group of people. We must stand together as a nation, protect the nation, and make sure Kenya is a democracy. We can only sit back and wait what happens, but let's continue praying, because again, I'm guessing even as, sometimes you have to be the bigger person, being the president, and whoever much is given, much is expected. You're the father of the nation. Symbol of national unity.
Kuna ile unauma ukipuliza.
Exactly. Indeed,
Uko behind the scene, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Hata unaweza kuwa unaumwa, umekasirika, but when you come to the public, choose your words carefully. Very, very carefully, because people will use this against you. You know, you're told you have the right to remain silent.
That's it. Yes, but now you've already spoken.
It has been spoken, and this will probably just aggravate people even more. But here he's saying that President William Ruto is saying, I want to promise you that there will be no more protests. They are going to stop. Enough is enough. And this is really, really unfortunate. I can only imagine the anger in which he's spoken. But anyway, we'll continue to follow up on the same. And the page 5, confusion rocks as ODM as Raila allies jostle for cabinet post. And I see 5 cabinet positions President William Ruto is said to have offered to Mr. Raila Odinga to form a broad-based government. There are actually 5 cabinet positions that were offered. And I see ODM leader Raila Odinga saying, once these issues are resolved, we can focus on a national conversation at a neutral venue. So let's wait and see what happens. And page 6, unbacked Haitian mission team maps operation zones. Team has mapped 15 towns and municipalities to eradicate gangs and criminals in Haiti. This is on page 6. And page 7 revealed Kenyans linked to 14 billion shilling Israeli tender probe. I see some names here, Mr. Michael Kamau, Mr. Franklin Bett, and also Mr. John Mosonik. 9 billion is the amount of money that SBI International was fined by the courts in Israel for bribery relating to the award of a tender in Kenya. That's a story on page 7. And maybe now let's move to the junior sport. I see here a very interesting story. Journalism Club helps us prepare for our future careers. Sijui kama ulikuwa journalism club wewe, Gigi.
Ulikuwa footballer.
Ulikuwa footballer. So how did you find yourself here?
Because I wanted to make news, but now I'm the news reporter. I wanted them to report me.
To report you.
And I'm the one reporting them.
I see here journalism in the making. I was definitely part of the journalism club, and thanks to a vibrant journalism club at school, Ivy and Lamek are on the right track to their dream careers. Let us encourage our kids to join these clubs. You just never know who they could become tomorrow. But let me go quickly to the back page. Stay in touch with your stars and the big moments in Special Olympics coverage by NMG. This is a story on the back page. Basketball, how Nairobi City Thunder rose steadily to successfully challenge big boys KPA and Ulinzi for Kenya Basketball Federation Men's League. We just have 4 days to go to the 2024 Paris Olympics, and of course tension is high, but we are waiting to see how everything turns out. I see that around 10,500 athletes from 206 NOCs will compete at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, and 32 is the 2024 Paris Olympic will feature a total of 329 medal events across 32 diverse sports, and more than 300,000 people are expected to line both banks of the river to watch the ceremony, along with 45,000 police, including members of France Elite Special Intervention Forces trained in counter-terrorism. And of course, we will continue to follow up on the same. Page 30, walking in Danford's shoes, Abubakar eyes glory in Paris. That's it for the Daily Mission.
Right. Let's now switch gears to the Standard, and they go with the headline, Raila this way, Raila that way. They say, watermelon? From an astute defender of democracy and human rights, today opposition leaders' words cannot be taken to the bank, since he is bound to change his mind again and again. On protests, he seems to be blowing hot and cold. It's a story on page 5. And cornered Raila now woes Gen Z sets demands for dialogue. So he says he gave out a list of 6 conditions without which he will not take part in proposed dialogue. There are reports that he is ready to forego his ambition at African Union Commission. A quote attributed to Raila after releasing a statement yesterday. To the young people of Kenya, you must all know that I am deeply moved by your dedication to the cause, and I believe a structured dialogue will bring the reforms you are fighting for. You read that on page number 5. I also see on the front page, or rather on page number 4, public to president on cabinet peak, shuffling not enough, get new team. 6 out of the 11 reportedly sacked ministers are returning to cabinet. Only 5 are new faces, but representing the same regional representation. You can read that on page 4. Then I see Gen Z youth plan more demos. Protesters march along Kenyatta Avenue in Nakuru City recently, and they are planning more demos tomorrow. It's full entry for MPs smarting from Parliament breach by Gen Z, House to embark on revision of budget estimates after Ruto declined to assent to finance bill. All eyes are on MPs as they seek to restore public confidence. Read that reappointment of 6 CSs at center of this week's Gen Z anger.
All right.
Ruto, I also see Ruto plans crackdown on sponsors of protests. President William Ruto has warned alleged sponsors of anti-government protests, challenging them to come forward and give him alternatives to his leadership. You can read that on page number 7. Then I see race to fill police bosses slot begins. 8 senior officers will face an interview panel beginning today as the government seeks to fill Deputy Inspector General position. You read that as well, and who have been shortlisted for that for the same. From the counties section, Mombasa Port cargo volume up as inland states prefer facility. And then the pull-out, health and science, my struggle with bipolar disorder. You read that story as well. And then I see the world news, Bangladesh court wins back job quotas that sparked unrest. Over 150 people have died after civil service hiring rules sparked clashes between police and university students. It's a case again of young people there. Soldiers are patrolling cities across Bangladesh after riot police failed to restore order. Read that on page 22. And I see AU approves AI strategy for Africa growth. In the sports section, I see the back page. See you at Paris Olympics. 24-year-old star is looking to add an Olympic medal to her already rich catalogue. She smashed the women's 10,000 meters world record at the Prefontaine Classic Diamond League in May. Who are we talking about? Beatrice, your namesake, Beatrice Chebet. She is going to Paris, seeking to add the Olympic title to an already rich catalogue. The only thing missing is the Olympic title. The march to East Africa Games gathers pace. Kisumu will feature a blend of national regulars, returnees, and newbies at the finals. It was not business as usual at the 2024 regional finals as last year's winners dropped off. And I see Nairobi City leave KPA thunderstruck. A look at Nairobi City Thunder and Salid season. Albert leads Thunder to 3-0 win over KPA. And LeBron rescues USA from South Sudan shock. With that on page 29. And quickly, the Business Daily. Microfinance banks suffer record loss as loans shrink. And also still on the front page, mystery of 180 million shillings Nzoia sugar goods in transit for 8 years now.
Wow.
This nation of ours, we have been in transit for 8 years now. Payroll taxes grow by single digit despite higher deductions. Taxes on salaries, wages, and allowances paid to workers grew at a single digit rate in the just concluded financial year, underlying a toughening labor market. And CMA finds company directors for trading rules breach. Read that on page number 6 inside the Business Daily.
Beautiful. All right. And I think something that has not been reported.
Yes.
We woke up to some news this morning about Joe Biden stepping down. And of course, that's a story we'll be following up on.
Yes.
So people should
So who will the Democrats be picking? Will they nominate? Of course, they have to nominate someone else, or are they going to elevate Kamala Harris to be their flag bearer to face off with Donald Trump? That's the big question being asked now. But it's a case of we wait and see. But they need to move with speed. ahead.
That's true.
Because elections are just around the corner.
Yes,
yep.
Absolutely. Should they be in November? Is it November?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, in November.
Wakati hakuna.
Hamuna wakati. Kwa hivyo, actually, they need to do this very fast because we're headed to August.
Yes.
And so they need now really to have a candidate in place who will hit the road running, campaign, assure the nation that I'm the right person, I'm not an afterthought. So many things, you know.
Even though he may be an afterthought.
He may be.
He actually is an afterthought.
He actually is an afterthought because you are not our candidate.
You are not there
so it's a tall order.
Yeah.
Whoever will be picked is a tall order, and especially now with a very bullish Donald Trump already flying high. You know, so let's wait who the Democrats will pick.
Absolutely.
To replace Biden.
Yeah, and I think that's why people need to continue tuning in to Hope FM. You know, at the top of every hour, we have news updates. So that means even during the day, we will be giving you information on the same right here on Hope TV. Itakapofika jioni, 7 p.m., we'll have Dira, and 9 p.m., we're going to be having News Watch. So even as the news is developing in the USA and also in our country, we will also be updating you. So right about now, let us pave way for the video of the day.
Nakajua kale ka feeling kakujibiwa maombi, naona raha hivi. Unaijua ile kelele ya shangwe kijibiwa? Imagine vile umesota lafu Mungu anatokea. I can't believe you have done it again. I've come to testify, Lord, you've done it again. I give you praise, Lord, you've done it again. Hey, again and again and again, you've done it again. Kujeni muone, muone, muone. Kujeni muone, alivyonitendea. Kujeni muone, muone, muone. Kujeni muone, alivyonitendea. Amenijibu, amenijibu. Maombi yangu nilomba, amenijibu. Amenijibu, amenijibu. Maombi yangu nilomba, amenijibu.
Do you have a testimony? Je, Mungu amekujibu. Such a powerful song by my very good friend Zion Jerry featuring Volta. We did interview her last Friday.
Jerry.
Her name is Zion.
Wow.
Yeah,
Beautiful
like
name.
Mount
Very
Zion.
unique.
Very unique.
Name. Yeah, but equally a very powerful song.
Yes.
Amenijibu.
Amenijibu.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
just
must be a
looking back.
personal testimony.
It is.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah.
You know, she came and she's very young, by the way. She just turned 27. It was her birthday on Friday, last Friday when I interviewed her. I've known her for a long time. Like 4 years ago when she was very young, starting off her music, you know, lost the mom at some point and it was really difficult, but she came back up and she came back with a bang. And this is actually her first collaboration with a Tanzanian, that is Volta. So this was a beautiful song. We launched it officially
on Friday.
Last Friday.
Awesome. It's a beautiful song. And beautiful so anyone who is going through a tough period, just be encouraged that alijibu Zion Jerry. And so he's the same God. And he's the same yesterday, today, and forever, the Bible says. And so if he did it for her, he equally is able to do it for you. So keep on keeping on, keep on trusting in him, and he will come through for him because he's a faithful and a loving God.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And you know, this music has just made me feel like going into a music mode, you know. You just feel like we should just continue playing music, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's a Monday
yes,
morning.
It's a Monday.
We need to lay the ground.
Spice things up. You know, we don't want no Monday blues here. No, we don't want.
Yeah.
Yes, so definitely we've come to the end of the show. It was short and sweet today, but we're going to just have a session of music so that we can marvel at the goodness of the Lord and just continue to worship and praise the Lord for all that he has done, even as we continue to pray for our nation, because we do not know what is going to happen from tomorrow after what we have just read today on the newspapers, the agitation that is there. We don't know what Gen Zs are feeling. We don't know what is in their hearts after what Ruto has stated here. We don't know what's going to happen with the security officers. So we really have to go into a mode of prayer and just intercession for our country so that all will happen according to the will, the perfect will of God.
Amen. So thank you so very much. Wishing you a fruitful day ahead. May God order your steps. May he protect you. May he cover you, and may he do great things in you and also through you, because you are God's recommendation letter. From us here, Gigi is my name.
Yes.
And
yes, and my name is Beatrice Nudi. See you guys tomorrow.